Today, we're going to be talking about the Montana 700i and why I think this is a must-have piece of gear for every adventure rider. Stick around. Hey, this is Chad with BeGoneForGood. We do videos all about adventure motorcycling, from the bikes we ride, the trips we take, tips, tricks, tutorials, everything under the sun. When it comes to adventure motorcycling, you'll find it on this channel. If you like that sort of thing, hit subscribe down below and hit that bell so you get notifications every time we upload a new video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the new Montana 700i and why I think this is the most vital piece of gear for every adventure rider, even though maybe it's a little bit expensive. I've got 5 things that I love about this new piece of kit, and a couple of things that I kind of wish were a little bit better. Now, anybody who's been watching this channel knows that I have been a fan of the Garmin InReach lineup for a long time. I've carried this with me everywhere I've gone. It's gone all the way down to Honduras, all across the United States. Anytime that I'm adventuring, anytime that I'm on a trip, and often even commuting, I will take this with me for a variety of different reasons. The first and most important one is because of this little SOS switch right here. If ever you have an issue, if ever there is a problem where you are down and hurt, the bike is incapacitated, whatever, you hit this button here and the angels come. They will send medical personnel to you, they will send recovery teams to you, they will send helicopters, whatever they need to get your situation figured out will come with that SOS button. And for me, just knowing that it is always there in my back pocket is the biggest lifesaver, is the biggest weight off of my shoulders for all of my trip. And it also helps out my family quite a bit, knowing that there's no circumstance where I won't be recoverable or I can get out of whatever situation I've gotten myself into. If you are a solo adventurer, this is an absolute must-have. There's no reason to be going out without the ability to contact some sort of emergency personnel when needed. A simple tip over when you're out there by yourself and a crushed ankle could be a major problem if you don't have a way to talk to somebody back and forth. Now, there are plenty of different products that do that. The thing I like most about the Garmin is that it allows you two-way messaging. So when you message out and say, hey, I've got an emergency, they can message back and be like, are you injured? What do you need? Is it a broken leg? Is it a branch through your lung? Is it a major head trauma? Is the bike just over the edge? What is the exact issue? And you can talk back and forth and get a lot of that handled. The other thing that's really fantastic about this for every one of my trips is my ability to talk back and forth with my family. So I can get messages out. This is where I am tonight. We stopped at this place, a little bit off of course, but this is what we're going to do instead. They also have location capabilities, so they can track me all the way along my trip, which is hugely helpful to them and makes it a lot easier for me to travel away when they know they can keep up with me along the entire trip. It just makes things easier at home, makes things easier on the road. I love that capability of staying in touch even when I'm out in the middle of nowhere with zero cell signal. The Garmin has provided that, and both of these devices do that equally well. Now, some of the new things about the Montana 700i that I think are just spectacular. First off, this huge screen. Now, when I was riding with this, you cannot navigate on the bike with this. If you're just walking or hiking, you can do this. This would be fine. You can hold this in front of your face, you can look at that map and be just fine. If you are trying to ride and look at this, you're never gonna make it. It's bouncing around, it's a tiny little screen, it's not extraordinarily well lit. You're never gonna do it. You have to stop, recalibrate, or send the signal over to your phone, which is a capability this has, and actually navigate on your phone with the GPS signal from this. Works, it's a little bit clunky. This big screen right here is perfectly navigable. You can take this, put this exactly where you want it, right in front of you, and navigate directly off of this. You can zoom in and out just the way you would with a normal map, and go from here with your waypoints and everything that you need to hit directly on this map. It's fantastic. I love navigating with this, and having just a single device that does that, outstanding. The second thing on the Montana 700i that is just perfect is having a native keyboard on here. Now again, you can attach your phone to the Garmin signal and be able to go back and forth. So I can type out a message on my phone, send it into the Garmin sends it up to the GPS and goes that way. Have to have both devices for that, and it's a little bit of a pain. Having just a single device that I can walk out to wherever I need to get the satellite signal, type all the messages, have them send, receive, be able to read them, type back, just with this one singular system is just awesome. As much as I'm sending messages and getting this stuff back and forth, this is the perfect way to do it, and having that larger screen and that native keyboard makes it just ideal. One of the other features of the Montana 700i is that it has Wi-Fi connectivity. So that means that anytime that I'm in a place where I can get Wi-Fi signal, I can send messages back and forth. I can do all of the information that I need on this back and forth through that Wi-Fi signal. So I'm not utilizing the GPS. I can do it while I'm inside as long as I've got that Wi-Fi. It also updates automatically inside on my home Wi-Fi. So I don't have to worry about every time I pull it off the shelf and I want to take it on a trip, having to update it and cycle through, going on the computer, downloading the updates, putting it into the system, and making sure that everything's calibrated. It's already on there because this is always connected as long as it's on some Wi-Fi signal somewhere. This is always updated and ready to go. I can pull it off the shelf and bang, I'm ready to travel. One of the other features that's on this that wasn't on the original Garmin is points of interest. So you can go in here and again, natively on this system, I can look up restaurants and lodging and fuel and different tourist attractions or different places that I want to stop, points of interest along those lines. And it's all on here. So as soon as I pull up my map and I want to look for my next fuel stop, it's on there and I can direct directly to that next stop. This is something that you can do on most mapping systems, but the problem is you have to go from your phone to the GPS if you've got signal on your phone to be able to find that point of interest. Otherwise, it's all on here on this GPS unit that you can locate no matter whether you've got a cell signal or not. That point of interest feature is a great one, especially for us adventurers who are out there and often have to kind of make plans on the fly and don't always have signal to be able to do that. This provides you that capability of just looking up a place that you need to go to, finding it directly, and then going there. On the original Garmin, there's a feature there that allows you to pinpoint your location and then have a weather report sent down for that location over the course of the next 6 hours or 12 hours, whatever it is. And it'll tell you, okay, rain's gonna be coming in, it'll last for this long, it'll be this much precipitation, the temperature's gonna be this, your sunrise and sunset are gonna be this and that, whatever, for that location. Awesome, great. On the Montana though, it ups that a little bit further by providing you an actual weather map. Now this is great because it's not vitally important that I have just the weather at one point, but the weather at my next point and everything in between so that I know what that weather looks like 50 miles down the road and another 50 after that. And with this map, I can see full systems moving in and out and where it goes and different corridors that I may need to take or different timeouts that I have to take as the weather passes by. All of that is done with a weather map, which is much better than just a weather report. And on this, you can actually make those plans as you're going, seeing how that weather's reacting to the pattern that you're on or the path that you're on, and make sure that you're planning accordingly, given that the weather is real time directly for your location and everything you're traveling through from there on forward. Now, one of the downsides of this, and it's not really a downside because it's something that you can get through, but it takes a little time. There are a lot of apps on here. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of information. So initially when you get on here, it feels a little bit clunky. Now for this, I'd say maybe 5 minutes of education time and just kind of messing around with it, and you're ready to go. You can track, you can send messages, you can do what you need to do because the system is just very, very simple. Not so much with this one. With this, with everything that's on here, it's going to take you at least half an hour to 45 minutes to get this thing set up and understand where all the things that you're going to need to utilize are. It's possible that with some extra learning, this will feel a lot easier for me. It's possible that this will also, there's a way to kind of customize it. But again, these are all things you have to kind of learn for this system. It's not as intuitive as you would think. There's so much stuff here that you kind of have to dig through to get to the pieces that you actually want. And that's a little bit of a bummer, though it is great that they have that extra stuff in there so that everybody kind of gets what they need. And there's a bunch of things on here that you can utilize in the future. It just takes you some time to learn it. It takes some time to pick it up. The other thing that's a bit of a negative, and again, it just sort of is what it is that this is a huge glass screen and it is very, very bright. So it saps battery super fast. With this one, you can go days on this, sending it to your phone and not having any issue with the battery. It just sips battery super, super light, especially if you're not using the screen. This one's the exact opposite. This is a ton more real estate. Depending on how many messages you get in, how many tracking points you're putting out, how often you're sending those up to the satellites, this can go in 6 to 8 hours. You have to have this charging on the bike if you're going to be navigating with this. Otherwise, it'll never hold. This is not a day's worth of battery in here. if you're utilizing it for the entire day. It's kind of a negative, but they do have a really nice charging cradle for it. Holds it very securely. You can put it on the bike, charges into the bike. It's great, but it's something that you couldn't just navigate with this on battery, or you'll pull that battery down completely. Along those same lines, because this is a huge glass screen on here, I've already cracked it once, you have to be a lot more careful with this. This thing is relatively bomb-proof. This has fallen out on the road. I've thrown this in places. This has been in my bag and all sorts of other places where the screen can get scratched up or not, and it's been fine. This one, not so much. This is a very fragile screen. You definitely don't want to throw this in a pocket or into your bag where this could get scratched or messed up. Because it is a big glass screen, if it rains, you'll get a bunch of kind of errant touches or phantom touches from the raindrops on here, which is a little bit of a pain because obviously this is going to get rained on. But you have to be a little bit more careful with this product as opposed to this one. It's very, very expensive, and it is a little bit fragile. So just kind of know that we're in grimy environments. You've got dirt and rocks and stuff all over your finger, and you're going to be scratching on the screen. You just have to be a little bit more careful with this because it is not nearly as rugged because of this huge glass screen as one of the old models. Now, to finish up, I know that this is an expensive product. I know that having a subscription on top of that, it also just makes it more expensive. But with what this gives you in peace of mind, in safety, in capability, in reliability, and connectivity to the world, just to make sure that you have the information that you need to do the best on your trip, this is 100% worth it. There are probably 15 different things in my kit that I would forget or drop before I left this at home. This is so, so important to every trip that I take for no other reason than just the safety factor. If you take all the other features away, safety alone is a reason to buy this and carry this on every adventure trip that you've taken on. There have been a couple of times where I have made sure that I had that SOS button close by because I wasn't certain of how well the rest of the day was gonna go. And knowing that I had that bailout point available to me allowed me to progress with a little bit more security, a little bit more confidence as I was going through. And maybe that's not a great thing for everybody, but knowing that I've got that in my back pocket is a huge help, not only for me, but a lot of peace of mind for my family also, who obviously doesn't understand just how deep we're going out there, the sort of things that we're doing, how dangerous it could be or might not be. Having them know that they can get in touch with me, they can locate me, that I've always got that SOS available to me is a huge help for them as well. If for no other reason, do it for your family. That's everything I've got on the Montana 700i. If you have any questions or you've seen anything else on the Montana that you want to know about, definitely leave me a comment down below. If you have a navigation system yourself and have a story about it, I would like to hear that as well. There are a ton of great reasons to have these with you. I have heard hundreds of them. I have spoken probably 20 or 30 of them myself. So if you have one, I would love to hear that. Thank you again for watching very much. This is Chad with BeGoneForGood. We do videos all about adventure motorcycling. If you like this type of thing, subscribe, hit that bell so you get notifications, and please, always, always remember, the adventure starts with you, up here and in here. And I'll see you in the next one.